Today, we're learning about pass coverage. Let's film study. So we got a 1st and 10 play. Green Bay's got the ball. They're in 12 personnel. There's a running back there. There's a tight end out here. There's a tight end right here in a wing position. The formation from a defensive perspective is 13 cluster or 13 off cluster. All right, and what we're going to look at is Zack Baun on this play. So as a general rule, if you're a linebacker, anytime you get play action pass, we're going to see that here. There's a good play action fake. You see Zack Baun right here is kind of sucked up on the play action. The rule is turn and run. At this point, you got to turn and sprint. Get back here because there is going to be a deep crosser somewhere behind you. All right, crosser, a curl, something in the space that you're vacating by running up on the run fake. So you see Zack Baun here. He backpedals, but he never locates the receiver. By way of comparison, watch Nakobe Dean here. As soon as he realizes he got sucked up on the run fake, he's turning and looking for a deep crosser. Obviously, there's nothing there for him, so he can zone up. But Baun makes the mistake of not just turning and running and looking for that crosser. Had he done that, he probably would have been in the window of this throw. As it turns out, it's an incomplete pass, so it didn't really make much of a difference. But as a rule, as a linebacker, anytime you get pulled up on a run fake, turn and locate the receiver that the ball is going to. Kind of got away with one there. We'll see it from the other angle. All right. Here comes the motion. It's a good run fake. You get a split zone counter type deal. All right. Now, Baun, all he's got to do right there, as soon as he realizes it, right there, turn, find the receiver in the zone, and sprint to him. Hands up in the air. Yell if you want. All right. But at that point, you know you've lost on that play. You've got to turn and go. All right. Next one. All right, here we got another 1st and 10 play. This time the Packers are in. There's a back there, all right, and there is a tight end all the way up here. All right, so that's 11 personnel on our formation to start out. Is we have 2 on this side and 2 on this side. These are cut splits down here. This is a cut split here. That tight end looks to be off the ball, so we're going to call this cut 22 off cut. Cut 22 off cut. Backfield is gun near because the back is offset to the tight end. All right, so on this play, Nakobe Dean is going to have this back man-to-man. You can see as this whole thing shakes out, he's got him. He's located him. Now, the key to this is instead of waiting for that ball to be thrown and playing with depth, he goes right to his coverage, and as a result, almost gets a pick. Really close. Look at this. He hugs his coverage. Here comes the ball. Oh, if he would have caught that, it would have been a touchdown. All right, here we have another 1st and 10 here. Packers have the ball, and they are in 1 back, 1 tight end. That's 11 personnel. All right, the formation this is a cluster down here with an on-the-ball tight end. So this is a cluster on 3-1 cut. Cluster on 31 cut. Backfield is gun far because the back is offset away from the tight end. All right, now the Eagles are in some sort of it's a man coverage. It's called 1 rat, okay? And the rat means that there's always going to be 1 free player underneath. So we've got a post player free, and we have 1 underneath player free. Everybody else is in man coverage. All right, so in this case, these 3 behind the ball backers here, okay, off ball backers, have these 2 in man coverage, the tight end and the running back. All right, so if both running back and tight end go this way, then Baun and the nickel will play those 2. If they both go the other way, then Baun and Nakobe Dean will play those 2. If they split, which they do here, then Baun will be free, and Nakobe Dean will take the one that comes to his side, and the nickel will play the one that comes to his side. Somehow in this, we get a little lost in the shuffle here. I think the communication must have broken down. All right, let's look at it from the other angle. You can see it a little better. Okay, so from this angle, as soon as the play starts, okay, there goes motion. All right. When that back steps left, okay, now Nakobe Dean can look to his left to see if so that's called cross keying. He's going to look to his left to see if anybody's coming back across. All right. Now, as the back continues across to the left, the nickel will take him. All right. And Zack Baun will free up. All right. So you can see Zack Baun is reacting to that. He thinks he might have him if he stays in the middle. Okay. It's not really clear who has him here, but it is clear that Nakobe Dean is supposed to take this tight end back across. All right, so the biggest mistake there is when that back goes to the left, he needs to look to his right to see that tight end coming. And then he can just roll right into him, what's called a man turn into him, and then he's got him for the rest of the down. So that, to me, was just a breakdown in communication there. All right, here we go. We have 3rd and 14 now. We got 11 personnel. There's our back. There's our tight end. All right, the formation right now is cluster 3, 1 to the top, so that's cluster 31. The backfield is gun near because the back is offset to the tight end. All right, now the Eagles are in a quarters coverage, but what they've done is because they have a 3-by-1 and really a 4-way on this side, they've gone ahead and locked this backside. So this corner up top is going to play this receiver man-to-man. What that means for Nakobe Dean is that anybody else that comes to this side of the field, he has to play man-to-man. All right, so the next guy that comes over here, he's got to take because the corner's in man. So even though we're playing zone on this side of the field, everything on that side of the field, the top side of the field, is man coverage. All right, so Nakobe Dean does a really great job on this play because one thing to know is 3rd and 14 is a big screen down. All right, so a lot of teams like to screen on 3rd and 14 because typically the coverage is way deep, right? They're playing everything deep to short, so they don't typically play tight to these short routes. But in this case, Nakobe Dean has man coverage on that side. And I want you to see what he does. He never gives the offensive line a chance to climb out there on him. Right? He goes in what's called hugs his coverage. Right? We saw him do that before. He's hugging his coverage. He's not waiting. And as a result, he gets a knockout shot. Look at this. I think a mouthpiece came flying out, something. Hit pads, butt pad. It's a great play by Nakobe Dean there. We'll look at it from the other angle. All right, so he's tracking that. If that back were to stay to the strong side, then he can just zone up because it's zoned to the left here. All right, everything to the right side of the field, though, is man coverage. So as soon as that back crosses over that midline, he knows he's got to go. And you can see he goes and hugs him right away, doesn't allow any space, doesn't allow the lineman to get out on him and get between him and the ball carrier, and finishes strong. Ball goes flying. All right, here we got a 2nd and 11 play. All right, and the Packers are going empty. Right, they have running backs out here, tight ends right here, so that's 11 personnel. But the formation is 3 on 2, or on 32. Okay, some people just call this empty, but the backfield is empty. The formation is on 32. All right, now in this case, we're going to get what's called a simulated pressure. All right, simulated pressure just means that there's still only going to be 4 rushers. All right, but one of those rushers is an unorthodox or non-traditional rusher. So in this case, Nakobe Dean is actually going to become the 4th rusher, and we're going to get 0 dropping out here. Everybody else is in man coverage. Take a look. Okay, now Zack Baun up here at the top is going to have this tight end man-to-man. So as he comes out of there, he locates him. He gets in his hip pocket. He's got good coverage. He makes the ball get elevated above him, and Blankenship comes up with the pick. It's a great job. Good hands. And now the defense is off the field. Okay, so what we learned there is that in pass coverage, there's a couple different things that we have to think about. When we're in man coverage, we always want to hug to our coverage, meaning give no space between you and your coverage. You saw Nakobe Dean do that really well. He almost ended up with a pick 6. He did end up with a great big hit on the screen. Another thing that we learned is that when you get sucked up on a run fake, you've got to turn and locate the deep crosser or the deep route in the middle of the field where you just vacated. Communication is critical. Until next time.